Alrighty, on the bench today we have my personal Sega CD, and it has been neglected and abused so bad. Little backstory, just a quick backstory. I bought this probably, oh my god, probably over 10 years ago, and it never worked right from the get go. I mean, it was a nightmare to get going, and even a nightmare to keep running. I know a lot of them are bad and stuff, but this one was just, it was trashed, beyond trashed. So I figure with all these spare parts and stuff I have just lying around, why don't I finally make myself a working Sega CD? Like, you see all the videos of me doing everybody else's Model 1s and how good they turn out and how well they work. Like, yes, I can absolutely use my Model 2, or I could use my XI, right? And stop using this just as a showpiece, or actually be able to use my Model 1. So let's do that. Let's actually make myself a working Model 1. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull away. I'm going to sort what parts are the best. I've already got some idea, like that one's probably the best one. That one's not. This is probably the best main board. This is probably the best power supply board, but we need to pull some stuff off of this power supply board to make that one better, or vice versa. I may take what's on that and make this one better. As for lids and cases and front pieces, blah, 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 we'll go through that. But I think that's where we're going to start, is going to tear this down, and we're just going to sort of put things together. Okay, so let's take a look at what I had to do to limp this thing along through life. It's not pretty. It is not pretty. For one, we are stealing that battery. Like I said, we are going to use this board. We may recap that board using these newer caps. They're not that old, really, and there should be nothing wrong with these. I do know that if we take a good look at this board here, this RAM has been changed out. You can see that this RAM is different than this RAM. All of this has had to be resoldered, reflowed. There are parts on these RAMs. Look how bad the corrosion is in here. Like I said, I have literally had to limp this thing along its whole life. Now, I know it works, but when I got this, it was just, it was bad. It was bad. There were screws missing. There were diffusers missing. That one's pretty shitty too. That one looks like it's on its way out, which is why we should probably use this one. I mean, it's all good. I do see that there are some caps on there that do need to go. Just for example, I can tell like that cap right there. I'll zoom in for you. You can see that that is starting to get a little, crusty there. And I don't doubt that there's a lot on here that are starting to get a little crusty. Right, so we should take care of that. What else here? What else? The ribbon cable, the original ribbon cable that was on this, was absolutely chewed to shit. Whoever was in this to begin with, they chewed that up. As a matter of fact, sometimes I don't even think it makes proper continuity between the pins here. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think that acts up. Like I said, we'll use this one here. It does have a sticker on it, but we can get rid of that. Whoever had this before me, they made the mistake of putting the wrong screws in and pushed that shit out, like a lot of people do. That's my drive, so that's my spare, let me look to make sure everything's okay drive. So we're still going to use this drive. We'll probably use the screws out of here, though, for the real screws that belong here. And again, as for the power board, this is the Japanese one out of my son's Mega CD, Japanese Mega CD. That transistor's dead, right? So I may take this transistor from here. Sorry, where am I here? From here, right? And put it over here and make sure that this is all good so that, you know, if I ever want to swap them back to where they're supposed to be, I can. It'd be easy. I don't think that anything on there needs to be taken care of that I know of. Yeah, I don't think these caps are bad. As a matter of fact, I think I already changed these out once. So I don't think there's a problem here. I think I already changed those out. I think the 5-volt regulator was dead too, and I had to change the 5-volt regulator. That's not the appropriate 5-volt regulator. I can almost guarantee that. Yeah, we'll have to decide what we're gonna do with this. Like, do I just... Yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah, I would say let's get all this emptied here. Let's get all this shit emptied, and we'll go from there. Let's get this out. This thing has just been through the dumpster fire and back. I don't mind using my... Look, that doesn't even feel like it's sitting right. Do I not have the other big screwdriver sitting around here? Where the hell did I do with that? Give me 2 seconds. Let me get this out, because that might not even be the right screw out of there. In there, it looks like it is, but it feels awfully funky. Either that or the thread is stripped out. No, it might have come out. Okay, let me get this taken care of, and I'll be right back. Yeah, you can tell those screws I just pulled out of there, they're not even the same screws. They're completely different. That's why it was having such a hard time coming out of here. It was stripping the shit out of the original thread. Lovely. Okay, so I think the best course of action here is actually to make the Japanese Model 1 power supply work. That way, I know I have the working one for my sons, right? And this one can just be a parts one. Now, we should be okay on everything here. Ferrite beads, pico fuse, and the diode. We should be okay there. I just want to double check, make sure we're okay. Let me get you in shot here. So we should be okay. Should be okay on the diode. Yep, we're okay there. Let's just go ahead and just check the other side. Yep, and yep. Okay, let's check the fuse real quick. Yep, we're okay. Ferrite bead should be okay. Yeah, no problem there. Now this transistor is the issue. So we should pull the transistor off of this one, right, and put it on this one. Now I know this works. Even though it doesn't have a fuse, don't do this. All I did was put a bridge across it, and that cures it. Don't do that. Don't do that. And we should take the original 5-volt regulator from here and put it in here, and then I can change out this goofy ass cap that I put in here, because I think these were pretty much bulged out when I first got them. This was bad. This was a temporary solution that I put in, and it's a massive cap. This, I don't really care about the size, because I mean, it's so away from everything, but the original cap is so much smaller than that. So I should probably change that cap out as well. Now there is a ferrite bead and a resistor on here as well, and I may want to check that resistor right there. Just make sure it's in spec. And it almost looks like it's just a single line. I don't know if you can see that. That's probably a 0 ohm resistor. It's probably just a jumper link, if anything. I don't know if you can see that. That's probably just a jumper link. We can check that real quick here. Let me get my probes down here. You might not be able to catch what I'm doing, but come on, sit right. Yeah, I can almost guarantee that's a 0 ohm resistor, like a jumper link. Can almost guarantee that's just a jumper link. I don't know why they have that there, but they do. And this is a completely different board set too, eh? If you look, 837 8046, whereas ours are 8953. They are different. I don't know why they changed the layout, but they did. They absolutely did. They absolutely changed the layout. There are differences. So I think that's where we're going to start. Okay, so we got the one transistor off of the American power supply. And then we got the one off of the Japanese one. So now we can go ahead and put our American one on the Japanese here. And we'll get that down in place. Get it all lined up here, and we'll get that on. Now I'm thinking, like, maybe this wasn't the only issue. Like, there are there's one transistor here, 3. This is 4, 3. This is 1. I think there's another one here as well, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not exactly sure, because again, there are 2 different layouts, right? Whereas this one has the one at the top that we pulled off. Then it's got 1 here, which is 3, so 4, 3. And then there's 1 here, which is 2, and then 1 is there. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 on this one. On the Japanese one, where is 1? Huh. I don't see 1. Oh, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry to rate my face. I was looking up here where the other one, meanwhile, they're right in front of me. On these ones here, on the American one, they're tucked here. And on the Japanese one, you can see there's EM beads here. Like, there's a big difference between these two. It's the more I look, the more I see it. I mean, I was already aware of it, but I mean, there's a lot more going on this circuit than this circuit. I wonder if they were just able to break the circuit down and make it more cost effective in the American version. But anyways, I'm rambling like I normally do. Sometimes I think you guys like that though. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this on here. Doesn't got to be perfectly aligned, but it does got to be on there. You do want a lot of that top heat sink lined up, like, you know, you do want it lined up fairly well. So let me get a little bit of solder. Going on here, I'm just going to tack it in place at first. I may get out of shot here just for a second as I line this up and hold this in place. Tack that on. Good enough for now. Get a little bit of that, little bit of that, little bit of that. And then we'll definitely get this tacked on here the way it should be. I'm trying to do this over top of the camera, so you'll have to bear with me here. We'll get that flowed nicely, just like that, just like that, and just like that. Looks good to me. Let's get you zoomed in a little, turn the light on. Just zoomed in here, we'll get that all cleaned up. That looks good. That's not going anywhere. Again, what I was rambling on about before is that might not be the only transistor that's bad. I mean, it could be one of these as well. It's something in this power section that is bad, and I was just assuming it was this because I was shorting ground to here and it would, turn on. If that's not the case, we will come back to this and we will replace these transistors here with the ones off the American board. But I'm fairly certain that that was the issue, but I could be wrong. So we'll get that out of the way. We'll get that out of the way. Now that should be the power board. As for the regulator, let's get that the fuck out of here. Let's get this funky one out of here. Oh, jeez. Who put that in? Me, obviously, but good Lord. So we'll get that out of there. I will go ahead and remove this regulator and this cap, and I'll replace it with an appropriate size cap, not value size, as in like physical size rating, and the regulator off of here. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we got that cap replaced, and we got the regulator on. So we took the regulator from the American one, put it on here, and then replaced that giant cap that I had in there. I don't even know where it went. Right here. Like, the size difference is ridiculous. Right? Yeah, this was a 100 microfarad 50 volt, and it's only supposed to be 100 microfarad 6.3. What did I put in there? 100 microfarad what? 16 volt, I think? Oh no, 6.3. So, wait a minute. Is that even right? What's the original one in here? Wait a sec. Oh, 6.3, yeah. It was right. Sorry. One of them's a higher value. Which one is that? No, I forget. It's probably this. Yeah, sorry. This one's the 16 volt. Yeah, this one's the 16 volt. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, this one's the original 16 volt. That's what it is, sorry. I knew one of them was a higher value. These two are 6.3, and this is a 16. I should probably replace this one, too. I mean, I should probably put a 6.3 in there as well. I know that one is newer. Well, they're all newer, but I'll leave it for now. That's okay. I just wanted to change this one out because it was so big. And it was, is it an 85 or was it 105? Oh, it was a 105 as well, but yeah. Okay, so this part's done. We'll get that out of the way here. What we should do now is probably bring in, let's bring in the new main board that we're going to use. We're going to use this main board in mine. And we should probably figure out if any of these are bad. So that one's bad. This cap is bad. I don't know if you can see that or not. You probably can't. Let me get you down here a little bit more. And you can see that cap getting pretty toasty right there. And you can see part of that leg there on the BIOS chip is going. Let me get you locked in there. You can see that part of that BIOS chip is starting to get leaked over. So that one's bad. The RAM on this isn't too bad. I mean, that would be very little cleaning involved. It looks like this one's going, this one's going. It looks like this one's going. It looks like this one's going. It looks like all of these are going. Fucker. Yeah, it pretty much looks like all these are going. And what are these all? 16 volt. Oh, sorry, yeah. 16 volt 10, 16 volt 10, 16 volt 10. 16 volt 10 microfarad, 10 microfarad, 16 volt, 10 microfarad, 16 volt, 10 microfarad, 16 volt. Looks like they're all the same. They're all 10 microfarad, 16 volt. You know what? Give me a second here and let me see what I got in the pile of caps. Let me zoom out here. And let me see what I got here for this because, yeah, we can't have that. I should test this. I should test this and the power supply as well. I should put it all back together and just do a quick test to make sure this is working and this is working properly before doing anything. That way I know, like, this is working, right? If this is working and it boots, right, then I know, like, okay, this is fine. And then if I move to this and something goes wrong, then I know it's, you know, it's on this. If you start doing multiple things at once, you won't know where the issue lies. So let me do that. Let me get everything set up and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I just kind of just loosely put it together. Nothing screwed in, nothing is down. So we got the power board that we repaired, the main board that we're going to switch to. Let me get a lid. We just want to see if we're somewhat leading in the right direction here. Ooh, I will need power, won't I? Give me 1 second. Okay, we got power. I got it all hooked up here. Let's see if we let the smoke out or what here. Oh, shit, I forgot that was plugged in. No big deal. Yeah, let's remove that. We don't want that right now. We don't need that. That was for my son's Mega CD. We don't need that. We just want to see if we got proper power here. Now that could be a few different things here. Just want to make sure we got good power there, good power there. Make sure we're okay there. It could be just this not sitting properly. So I'll make sure we're okay here. I don't feel anything heating up or anything. Okay, it could be just this here because these get filthy and sometimes they just don't want to work right. So give me a second here. Let me clean this up. Well, I got that clean and it was dirty. Like it was really dirty actually. But we still may have issues with this power supply, like I said. I do see the power wanted to come up, but it's not booting. And because we could still have an issue here with this power supply. There could be more than one transistor on there. That is bad. Yeah, we could still have a fucking issue here. This is why I didn't want to go too far in the repair, because you'll never know where the issue is. Like I said, let me get the meter here just real quick. I just want to double check that fuse, make sure we're all right there. Yeah, we're definitely okay. Yeah, we're definitely okay. That provides power to that. Yeah, we're definitely okay there. Again, it could be this transistor 3, 2, 1. It could be any one of those. It also could be the fact that this is a Japanese power supply and it's just not. Because there is not just differences, like even in the, even on some of the chips where some of them, the contacts are bridged. Some aren't bridged on this one. Like for example, that right there. I don't know if you can see that, but that's bridged, and that's supposed to be bridged. Whereas on this, it's not. But let me go ahead and let me clean this as well. Make sure it's not this. Where is my toothbrush here? Let me get this cleaned up. I just want to make sure that everything is clean. I just want to eliminate all issues. Especially when it comes to having all these interconnects, you know, 1, 2, 3. disconnects edge connectors. In this case, it should be edge connector, you're saying, but whatever. Like I said, I've always had an issue with this machine. It is worse than anything I've ever dealt with when it comes to these. Nope, it's still, I can hear too. I can hear something coming on. Like, something does sound weird. Let me see if I can force boot it. I shouldn't have to do it like this, but US one. I just want to see if it'll force boot. No, and I get a different noise, different sound. Nope. There's something wild going on here. You know what? I mean, if it was the ribbon cable from the main board to the CD-ROM, it would still come up. It would still boot. It just wouldn't have all the nice rolling graphics. The only thing that's the same here is this power ribbon here, which I do have another one. I wonder if we got an issue here as well. I do have another one, do I not? Give me 2 seconds here. I know I did. Yeah, it's right here. Now that one is much, much better. I don't need the ferrite bead right now. Just so I know everything is okay connection-wise. I don't even care about that right now. If it's not this, if this doesn't cure this, I might have to go back and take a look at this power supply. Something else is funky here. Oh, shit. Well, I guess it don't matter. I'm here now. Whoops. Not a damn thing. Isn't that strange? What else is wrong with this power supply? Yeah, there's something ain't right here. Definitely something ain't right here. Yeah, not good. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, this is kind of blowing me away with this power supply. I'm already getting voltage on it with it plugged in. And it, I mean, don't get me wrong. That's nothing. That is absolutely nothing. Right? But when I turn it on, I get nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Like, there's nothing coming out of this machine. Zero. No matter what I do. Like, there's not really much that can go wrong on these boards. I mean, besides the transistors and the fuse. So you got one transistor. Let me zoom in here. You got one transistor, two transistors, the fuse. These two here, which I don't think there's anything wrong with the ones on the other board. I mean, you got some quad op amps. You've got a couple of sound DACs and, you know, PCM sound and stuff like that. Other than that, there's nothing on this board. Now, we know this one is working because, well, it was working before I stole the 7805 and the transistors, but I mean, there is something real funky happening here, and I'm not exactly sure what. Like I said, there's not much to this. There really isn't. I get, with it turned off, I get 14 volts and stuff through here from the power supply. I get voltage through here to a certain spot without it actually like turning on, right? Without it actually being turned on. What happens if I, just on camera here, just remove the power? That's probably a cap holding some sort of voltage, or it could be coming from this actually. I'm not exactly sure where that's coming from. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where that's even coming from. We're not getting shit through it. Nothing. So it's starting to drain out. Let me hook this up to the other pin. These here. Let me hook these up to the other pins here. One is in the center for ground, and then the other is on one pin. Yeah, it's starting to drain here. Let me see if I move them, what happens here. Okay, so now I've got it. I must have smudged my camera, sorry guys. Now I've got one in the center and then one on input instead of the output, right? And you'll see when I turn it on here, that's only 2 fucking volts. That's not enough to start even conducting, to put out. I should be having like 9 volts on it and 5 volts on the output. That's reset. 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 See, so I'm getting something, but not, like, I'm not even getting proper voltage to it. That's why I'm not getting shit here. Well, jeepers. There's something fucking funky happening here. 100%. And it's not the input. I can just prove that just by just swapping this for a second here and then turning that on. You'll see the Genesis turns on, no problem. Oh, that might even be phantom voltage. Look at that. That's coming in through. I don't even have that plugged in right now. What is happening here? I'm going to lose my mind because I can't figure out exactly what is happening with this power supply. I am 2 seconds away from taking both these transistors back off and the 7805. Well, it's actually a 2405 on this one. And putting it back on this other power supply here and saying this is toast. But like I said, there's not much that can go wrong here. There really isn't. There's not much that can go wrong here. Like, I kid you not, there's not much that can go wrong here. 2 ferrite beads, a fuse, a diode. The diode's good. That transistor, and these two, but I don't even think these two would have an issue. There's got to be something going on here. Let me pull this off here. Hang on one second. Let me get you sat down here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. There's got to be something happening. There's got to be something happening here. Somewhere where something is not getting to this. This inductor here, it's just an inductor. It's fine. I can check it with the multimeter. There's continuity through it, so it's a winding. It's there. There's only one winding, obviously. These caps are new. You know they're new. These quad op amps, even when I did get it to boot, when I had it together before, by shorting I think it's the emitter to the base here. You got proper sound and stuff, so the quad amps are working. All the sound is working. This is blowing me away. Okay, not very often do I repair them like this, wide open like this, but I had no choice but to actually use the other power supply, put everything back, new fuse, which I pulled off a Model 2. Not very often will you see this kind of stuff where I'm repairing them wide open, but again, this is mine, right? Yeah, there was something seriously wrong with this power supply here. Seriously wrong. Let me stop that right now before I get a strike on that. So yeah, actually, is there a way? You know what? I'm just gonna turn that off for a second. So yeah, I don't know what it was or what it is about this particular power supply. Even using the other transistors, checking everything, putting in the other 7805, well, 2405, checking everything, I was not getting voltage here. I went through the schematic and literally checked every single spot, and I was supposed to have voltage there. I think there must be a short somewhere on one of these chips, and it is just, it's dead. Dead. Which kind of sucks, but, I mean, it had an issue a long time ago when I bought it. So, you know what? Fuck it, right? Fuck it. Who cares? So, what we're going to do next is... Ooh, she is leaning. Again, you shouldn't be doing it like this, but I was just getting frustrated and moving stuff in and out. Let me get that back. What I should be doing is actually moving this outwards and getting that straightened up here, because that is way off. But yeah, I mean, even in that position like that, it's still, it's fine. It is absolutely fine. It does have a little bit of a, I don't know, it's quite, I don't know what word I'm looking for. It's not sluggish or anything when it plays. It's quite rough though. How do I put that? Hang on here. For example, like if I go to CD-ROM, if I go to play, wonder if it's going to do it or not. And again, that could just be because of the way I have it set up. But you can tell when the laser's going back and forth. It's a little rough. It's a little, I can hear it ticking, as a matter of fact. Tick, 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 tick. So it's still a little rough, but that doesn't mean that I can't get that fixed. And it doesn't mean once it's all together that it won't be a lot quieter. I mean, it's wide open. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get this back into the case, the power supply back into the case, and then we will change this battery out and we'll recap the ones that need to be recapped on this board. Okay, so I just wanted to recap this part of the power supply, and good thing I did, because either this cap or this cap, I can't remember which one here. I'll show you. One of them, was it this one? Nope. Was it this one? I believe it was this one. Was leaking. Yeah, you can definitely see that. Hold on. Yep, that was leaking. Which one's that one? Sorry. That was... Focus. 16 volt. So that was this one here. So that one was leaking. So, yeah. So we got that all done. Ooh. Looks like I missed that point. Let me get that. There we go. That's better. Now we just got to clean it up a little bit, and we'll give it a test. Okay, that's better. There we go. Nice and cleaned up around that area. So, okay, let's get it in and see what we got going on here. I already switched out Let's see if I can get you sat down here for a second. I already switched out the shielding in the bottom here because I didn't like the other one. It just had some rusty areas, and I'm just like, why even bother? Like, I have another bottom. Like, might as well just swap the shielding out from one case to another. So we'll get that in there like that. Let me get this spun around here. We'll get this out of the way, this out of the way, this out of the way, this out of the way. I'll just put that there for now. Get this back in here. Let's get. We don't need all the shielding right this second on this board. Not yet, anyways. Oh, I do need a ribbon cable for that, though, don't I? That is. Where did I put that? We'll use this ribbon cable for now. I won't even bother with the EFI bead, not yet. Like I said, then we'll throw this on. If the Japanese model doesn't need any of the shielding for testing, or period, then I probably don't need it for testing purposes here. So let me get... I don't even think that's a good ribbon, actually. Where is the good ribbon? Still on the machine? Or on the drive? So get this in. We'll get the ribbon cable in. Get that sat down. We'll get this ribbon cable in. Get that in. That's not sat properly. Okay, that's probably good for now. We're going to use this connector. Let me get a lid. Make sure that's set properly. We'll get our Genesis. Let me get this fucking thing out of the way. Get that together. We'll get this. In here, I can't ever remember which one it is. Probably that one. If not, who cares? We'll figure it out. Get that in there, that in there, this off to the side. We'll get this in here, and we will boot it up and see exactly what we've got going on here. And of course, we've got nothing. Why do we have nothing all of a sudden? It was working fine out of it. Why is it not booting? Why are you not booting all of a sudden? What is your issue? Am I stupid? Oh my god, I put the wrong power supply in. I must be out of my mind. I put the Japanese one in. Jeepers. Hang on. Like, how in the hell did I grab the wrong power supply? I grabbed the Japanese one. Might help if you have the right power supply. Jeez. Get in there. I'll do that in a second. All right, let's get all this put back together. Okay, nice and flush, nice and flush. That's straight, that's straight, that's straight. Let's try this again with the right power supply this time. I don't suspect any change in how it was behaving before, but just want to make sure we're okay before moving on to recapping the main board there. Yeah, that's the wrong one. That's all. I can't ever remember which one is what here. Ever. Nope. Well, it's running, but why don't I have any signal here? It's not that. It's not that. Which one is it here? I can never remember which one I keep it in. There we go. Okay. So, yes, it's running. Like I said, I didn't expect anything different. I might not want to play too much of that because that's going to get me in trouble. We just want to make sure everything's okay before we go ahead and start recapping, right? So.
Good afternoon, Digital Pictures.
Man, that sounds like shit. I don't know why that's so rough. It's lubed and everything, but there must be something that's just not lubed properly. Okay, I won't bore you with this. We'll move on to the recapping here. Okay, I just want to make sure we don't have that same issue as we had on the last one where when you crash, it would skip, right? It'd freeze up before it played the credits. So it should give me a set of jump data here, and then I'm going to miss the first one, or screw it up on purpose and then crash. Here we go. So whatever one comes up first, boom. Okay, so we should crash. And let's make sure we're okay here. Oh, see, now we're having that issue again. Okay, we'll worry about that when it comes to it. Okay, now you guys know me. I am not a big fan of recapping things that, look good and don't need it. But this definitely does need it. I mean, that is bad. That's flux. That stuff is old flux. This is just a ferrite bead. But that's bad. Those are leaking. And the more I look at this board, the more I can tell pretty much every cap on here is leaking. Where's another one here? Yeah. Yep. So pretty much every cap on here has started to leak. So this is going to be a good candidate to recap. This is when you recap, not when everything looks okay like the ones you see in my other videos. They're fine. These are bad. These are real bad. Like you can see, it's starting to leak everywhere. on this board. So yeah, that's these got to go. So the first thing I recommend is to clean everything. Just get in there with your isopropyl alcohol and just start cleaning everything. And I do mean everything. Be a little careful. You don't have to be super rough when you're cleaning, especially around caps like this, because if they're bad when they're leaking like this and you push too hard, you could rip a pad off. So you just got to start gently at first. Don't be afraid of your rubbing alcohol here. Nothing wrong with it. Right? And just going to get in here and start cleaning this crap up. And try to get a lot of the contaminants off. I mean, look, already. I mean, that's green because there's a lot of contaminants on this board. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through and do this first and get this all cleaned up the best as I can, which shouldn't be too hard because these aren't real bad, but they will. If you don't take care of it, they will get bad. Go through, do this to every single cap and all around the edge here, all on the ground plane, get all this crap up. Like I said, the best you can. Do some checks, especially around here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in there. You can see that that cap has leaked over to that pin right there. You can see that that has happened. So that's, a point of interest for sure. Check all that stuff out. Check all your surrounding areas. Make sure none of this RAM and stuff here hasn't, none of these pins here have started to get corroded from these leaking caps here. And especially in that area too, make sure nothing's leaking from that cap. Make sure nothing's leaking on this 68,000. None of these custom chips. Make sure all your pins are nice and clean, and then you can start the recap. Okay, I do see a few points of interest here. The first one I noticed is up here. One of these vias here. You're just going to be blurry all day. Is that what you want to do? So that one there's got a little bit of corrosion underneath the solder mask there. You can see that. So I'm like, oh, we better start checking. So there's one there as well. Right, and this one here's got me a little concerned. Can you see that in there? That one right there. Yeah, that's a little scary. So we'll have to pay attention to that and make sure that that via is okay and try to clean up as much of that as possible. So in that case, since that's so tight in there, right, between here and this this RAM here, I would suggest removing these two, getting everything cleaned up, and then focusing on that so you don't have these in the way. Okay, with those two removed, they actually came out really good after cleaning. Like really, really good after cleaning. And you can see that now that is much, much cleaner. And I checked the bottom side of this, and it's fine. And I traced from here to where it goes on this IC here, and it's fine. Now, I don't suggest you mess with it anymore because that trace is so small that leads to that via that any more disturbance would probably cause a break. I mean, is it fixable? Absolutely, but you don't wanna, because then you're gonna have to find out where it goes from here, the via on the other side, all the way to here, and you don't want to do that. But I suggest that right there, that works. That via is clean. Okay, that turned out really, really, really good. We're all recapped here. Everything's good to go. That came out really good too, that end piece. You can see here, everything is nicely soldered. I didn't lose any pads, thankfully. This part right here was the worst part right here. I still haven't put that cap back yet, but this was the worst spot, and I didn't lose any pads there, thank goodness. Because when I started getting those caps off, oh my God. This side of the board was the worst. From here to here was the worst. And as in the worst, I mean, the fish smell was out of this world. This part especially, this stunk but these were pretty bad as well. These weren't bad. They weren't. They didn't really stink. But these ones, oh man. So I think what's left now is just this, I believe it's 10 volt, 100 microfarad. Let me verify that here real quick. Could be 16 volt, 100. I'll check that out. I can't remember what it is, but I'll check it out. I'll check the schematic and see what it's supposed to be. But yeah, this turned out really, really, really good. Like, really good. Let's see if I can get in focus here. Yep, no pads lost. Everything's nice and clean now. We should do this one too. We should. We might as well. Why would we leave one, right? Might as well do this one as well. This one's probably the same value and everything as the other cap. What's this one? Yeah, 10 volt, 100 mic. That's probably what this one is too. But I'll double check. So let's get this one done and this one done, and then we'll get it all back together for a test. Okay, I just wanted to add this real quick here. There's the original one I pulled from right here, and that is 10, 100. And so is that. On the Console 5 webpage, that's the first one I came up when I typed in this model here, the 837-8952. They're listed at 6.3 100 mic. Well, this is original. This is factory. And that's not the case. That is absolutely not the case. At least that's not what Sega put in this. That's point proven right there. Huh. Wonder what that's all about. So yeah, I checked the schematic, and yeah, they are supposed to be 6.3. But for some reason, this one had 10. So you know what? I'm going to replace it with 10. I wonder if they just realized that maybe on a 5 volt rail, 6.3 just was maybe undercutting it a little bit, so they moved it to 10, or because this does happen, this is what they had in stock, and they were just like, yeah, that's what we're going to use. That could absolutely be true, but I am going to replace these with 10s. All right, that looks good to me. So let's get this back together and make sure we're good. Okay, let's get you all set up here. I don't suspect it to be any issue, but you always got to check after you do work, right? Just make sure I got everything here real quick. Yep. Perfect. Where is... let's make sure NHL 94 is okay. I'm not going to put you through all this again, but I just want to make sure everything's good here. Let's get into the tracks here. Oh shit, I meant to go into the menu. Give me a second here. I meant to go into the menu. Yep, I can hear it starting to play tracks as I go through, so that's good. Perfect. Let's play 79. Play it for 5 seconds and then have the laser come to the front. Perfect. Works for me. Okay, again, I'm not going to put you through this, but I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit and test it all out. Screw it all back together, all the screws and stuff. And yeah, then I'm going to do some real testing. And I'm actually going to play Snatcher in private, like actually play my machine like I want to play it. I've been dying to finish Snatcher. So give me a second here and I'll be right back. Okay, pretty much everything back together except for the front plate and the screws on the bottom, obviously, to hold the top on. Trying to find screws and stuff to fit the original screws was not Super, super easy. Not hard, but kind of annoying. So just before we get done here and button it all up, and as you know, you've got to do one more test here after everything is together here. It's not sitting quite flush, and that could be because of many things on this machine. Okay. You know, you ask yourself, why would you go ahead and, even though this is my personal machine, first of all, why would you neglect it? Second of all, you know, why wouldn't you just use one of the other machines I have, like my XI? It's kind of just not the same playing some games with the XI as it is this. I know that might not make much sense, but you know, there's something about having a Model 1 in front of you, right? And I probably forgot to put power and everything in, didn't I? Like usual. I'm just gonna put one in for now. Again, it's just to make sure everything's okay. Perfect. Is there nothing on the tray? Forget. Locking that top part down, the spindle holder, that actually shut it right up. It had some weird funky screws in it, and I don't even know which ones they are to show you, but they were definitely wrong. I wonder if it was lifting up a bit and getting rough that way. Give me 2 seconds here. Just want to make sure we're all right before screwing her all back together. Where is the controller? Oh, that shut it right up. Imagine that. That's just because we're missing right audio. Like I said, that's why I said I was only plugging one in. Because I'm going to have to undo it here in a second anyways, to put it all back together.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Just making sure everything's all right. Works for me. I might actually leave this on just for shits and giggles until I get sick of it. Yeah, that seems all right.
Hi, I'm Ron Barr for EA Sports.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, I'll be back when I get it all put back together.
Welcome to a sold-out.
Okay, so I figured we'd do this together. Let me see if I can kind of get you just like that. And here goes nothing. That's what I'm talking about. Excellent. And finally, I put my Model 1 back on the shelf. I will have to put my save game on here, but it doesn't matter. We'll do this for now. This will be fine for now. Perfect. Perfect. All right, I think we can call that a wrap. Awesome. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Perfect. Finally, I can put my Model 1 back on the shelf. Finally. All right, so that'll do it for now. So you guys know what to do. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.